I'd like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the occupied and seized land of the Wichita and Caddo Nation and affiliated tribes. These tribes have stewarded this land for generations, and I would like to pay homage and respect to the elders, past and present. We like to sometimes refer to life as a journey, and it is indeed a journey. We come up with metaphors about trusting the process of the unknown and finding our way throughout life and putting our best foot forward. But I like to think of life as a puzzle. And sometimes there are larger pieces, there are smaller pieces. With these larger pieces, sometimes it's a little bit simpler to put together. But with smaller puzzle pieces, sometimes there are even hundreds, and it's a little bit more complex. And I think life is like that. It's an ongoing process. And sometimes you end up discovering new pieces to add, or sometimes you end up discovering pieces that you didn't even know you needed. I was recently asked the question, how did you find yourself? And when I really reflect on that, it was really a matter of thinking about who I truly was underneath all of my pieces. Rediscovering and redefining pieces of myself that I had buried, lost, or even hidden. The process of all of that, and what I'm getting to, is that we are all socialized by something and influenced by someone. Socialization is the process of learning through our interactions with people, institutions, and various cultural norms, including systems of oppression and power dynamics. It permeates through our lived experiences every day, through our parents, our peers, our schools, our teachers. And I said all that to say, I was born and raised in Mississippi, the Deep South. I was raised in an environment with predominantly Black people, and it lacked diversity and identity and thought. So when I went to college, I was very surprised when I took my very first African American Studies class to find out that I didn't already know everything about what it meant to be Black, because I thought I already did. And I was in complete and utter shock. This 8-letter word, identity, would transform my worldview forever in taking this African American Studies class. And I experienced, for the first time, what's called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is what someone experiences when what they grew up believing is different and contradicted by something that they receive that's new information that they discover. And so when I experienced this dissonance, when I experienced this feeling, I had a lot of questions. I questioned and I asked, who am I? Who do I want to be? Who am I becoming? But more importantly, I asked the question, why? And I started to ask, why do I believe this? Who told me to believe these things? Why am I resisting to believe in something else? What are my values? Why do I value this? Who am I, and who do I want to be? What parts of myself are hidden? And who would I be if I had no restrictions or limitations? And who am I living for? I think these are crucial questions that we should all ask ourselves when being in the process of finding ourselves or rediscovering ourselves. But it doesn't stop there. We must also align our values with our actions. And we have to dive deeper and ask questions like, what am I committed to? Do my actions align with my commitments? Do I value my pride more than I value my relationships? Do I value my privilege more than I value someone else's well-being? What do I think about systems of oppression? And have I done the work that I claim to be invested in? We have to be honest with ourselves in this process, and we have to hold ourselves accountable as we're transforming ourselves on this journey of putting together this puzzle. One of the most beautiful things about finding ourselves is that we don't have to do it alone, because it can be terrifying. It takes so much courage to find yourself. And sometimes we don't want to know who we be because we're told who to be, or we want to be whoever we're accepted to be, or whoever society tells us to be. And so we learn so much about ourselves through connecting with others, through learning from others, and allowing others to support us on our journey. In my own experiences as a social scientist who studies educational psychology, and also as an activist doing social justice work, and my own lived experiences, I identified 4 key areas to helping rediscover and redefine yourself. Number 1, to find yourself, you must love yourself. Think about it. If you love something or someone, you would want to find it, right? You wouldn't want to lose them or it, whatever that is for you. So to love yourself and to find yourself are connected. You must love yourself to find yourself. Number 2, to find yourself, you must be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself about your values, about your limitations, about your desires. Be honest about where you are mentally, emotionally, physically. Be honest with yourself about whether you're even ready to go on the journey of finding yourself. You know what this is. Don't lie to yourself. Number 3, To find yourself, you must also align your actions with your commitments and values. Love is also in the form of commitment, and commitment is a form of love. Psychologist Robert Sternberg identified 3 key forms of love. 1 was passion, the other was intimacy, and the third was commitment. So to find yourself, you must be committed to yourself. And to be committed to yourself centers loving yourself. 4, to find yourself, you must be mindful and hold space for yourself. So often, we claim that we want to find ourselves when we don't even hold space for ourselves. We move and we go through the motions of trying to be perfect instead of just being human. And so to find yourself, you must be honest with yourself about how you want to hold space for yourself and others. Accepting yourself and all of your realness. Accepting others and all of their realness. Because you don't have to be perfect to be good. As you ask yourself these questions, the pieces will gradually start to come together for you to create this beautiful picture of you. And you will be so excited to discover more and more of the parts of yourself that you have been leaving behind all along. For myself, as I asked myself these questions, I became more confident and comfortable in who I really am. I became more confident in who I wanted to become. I became more fearless in pursuing the journey. Imagine you were on a treasure hunt. And on this hunt, you are on your way to finding your pieces. And as you find, piece by piece, you are becoming more and more fulfilled and excited about your journey ahead. But as you're on the tail end and finding your final pieces, you become uncomfortable, dismayed even, unfulfilled. And it's because the pieces are already in you. Ask yourself the questions you've been avoiding asking yourself. Ask yourself why you've even been avoiding asking them. You don't have to search. The pieces are already in you. There is no hunt because you are already enough. So search for yourself. Who do you think you'll find? And do you think you'll love them? Thank you.